And joining us now is exiled Venezuelan opposition leader Leopoldo Lopez. He was jailed by the Maduro regime after pro-democracy protests in 2014. He was able to escape. He is now in exile and a public policy fellow at the Wilson Center. Thank you, Leopoldo, for being with us today. I'm just thinking, why do you think this exchange occurred?
Well, as it was said, it's part of a negotiation that the United States and the dictatorship of Nicolás Maduro have been engaging for months now, for more than a year, actually. And of course, from the perspective of the Venezuelan people that want to be free, we hope that this is part of opening the possibility for a free and fair election in 2024. And that was the commitment in the negotiation, and that's what's been expressed by the Biden administration. However, the release of Alex Saab is something very heavy for the Venezuelan people. This is not just a prisoner. This is not just one of the many or thousands of corrupt individuals around Maduro. This is a person that, according to many of the reports that have been published over months now, managed billions of dollars. This is the person that built the architecture of the money laundering and sanctions evasion scheme with Russia, with Iran. Actually, he was caught in Cape Verde in his way to Tehran. So it was a very big giveaway on the part of the United States. And we only hope that this is something that can open the gates for the Venezuelan people to have a free and fair election in 2024.
How do you think a gate could be opened by the release of someone who you say is very critical to the Maduro regime, but also to the Maduro family?
Well, I think that there needs to be more pressure. And there has been an ongoing negotiation. And really, the facts are that Maduro has gotten everything. He got licenses, sanctions were lifted. In the oil sector. So now Maduro is selling at full price the oil to the United States. The sanctions to the gold sector were lifted. The sanctions to the finance sector were lifted. The nephews of Maduro, who were also imprisoned in the United States, were released and sent to Venezuela. So far, Maduro has gotten a big deal in terms of what he's gotten from the United States. And what we hope is that the pressure continues, or that there is some way to lead Maduro to have a free and fair election, which needs something very important. That is the qualification of our candidate, Maria Corina Machado, who has been wrongfully disqualified to run for the elections. I was listening with great attention to, yes.
Go ahead, very quick, if you would. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just very quickly. I was listening to your reporting on the border and the migration crisis. Many of the Venezuelans that are coming through, many of the people who are coming through the border are from Venezuela. And I can tell you with absolutely no doubt that the best policy that the United States could have in order to attend the migration crisis regarding Venezuela is to promote democracy and have a transition to democracy. People are fleeing Nicolás Maduro, his disaster in terms of the economy and in terms of humanitarian. So if the United States, the government and the people in the United States want that flood of Venezuelans going towards the United States to stop at some time, the best way to do that is to promote a transition to democracy through an election next year.
And, you know, I don't need to remind you that more than 7 million Venezuelans have been forced to leave their country in the last 20 years because of the regime that is in Venezuela. And that regime shows no signs of changing anything so that the conditions in that country could change and the people of Venezuela could live in their country with dignity and with freedom. Leopoldo Lopez, thank you very much for being with us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.